The following chapter of Let's Get Deeper was released on the Great Mates Podcast on January 26th, 2019. Hello and welcome back to the summer season of Great Mates Podcast. If this is the first time you're listening to us, we are a bunch of young Australians who usually talk about our lives here in Australia, pop culture, stuff on the internet. If you guys give us questions, we try and do our best to answer them. And yeah, that is basically it. We are the most non-specific, kind of podcast there is.
Our podcast is so vague. Like, if you could describe it in one word, it'd be vague.
Yes.
Yes,
definitely vague, but it's good. It means that we get to be, creative with the content that we make.
We get to discuss a broad range of topics.
A lot of topics. And especially in summer season, because our release schedules are a little bit different, we like to experiment a little bit. So this mini series of episodes as part of summer is for you guys, the listeners, to get to know us a little bit better, find out what gets us ticking, all the other weird, fun anecdotes that we might not necessarily have enough time to talk about on a regular podcast episode. I'm Josh, and on tonight's episode, I've got Olivia.
Hello.
So, before the podcast started, we were having just a quick chat. And apparently, she's very nervous for some reason.
It's the heat. It's the summer heat. It's getting to me, honestly. I don't know why. I don't know why I feel nervous. I feel like this is a job interview or something.
You did say, like, Josh, what the fuck are these questions on about?
Yeah, these are very, deep, meaningful. I feel like this is a job interview. Like, I'm sitting in for a job interview for the Great Mates Podcast. Like, like, please accept me.
I am not worthy. Oh boy.
Oh god.
So I guess, Olivia, before we get into the questions that I sent to you,
Yes.
why don't you tell the listeners a quick, spiel about yourself?
Oh Jesus, don't get me to do this. I'm the worst at this. Okay, hi, I'm Olivia. I am down in South Australia with Brandon, our other fellow mate. I recently graduated from uni. Well, technically not graduated yet, but I've finished all my classes. Graduate next year from graphic design at uni. I don't know what I'm doing with my life. Yeah, I guess that's it.
Oh, wow.
I don't know what else to put out there.
That isn't already out there.
Yeah, exactly. If you want to know more about me, just listen to a podcast episode.
That's true.
Or this one.
That's what
this is for. Oh my god.
Yes. Come on. Get your head in the game. That was not an intentional High School Musical pun or reference.
That was a brilliant pun. I will take it. I love High School Musical. That's another thing. I'll take it. It works.
Oh boy. So I guess to get the ball rolling, Olivia, why did so you said you basically are gonna graduate graphic design from uni?
Yes, I'm gonna graduate. That's
fun and scary times. I have been there.
Fun and terrifying.
I have been there and done that. But I guess why did you choose graphic design to study at uni?
Basically, because I suck at art. No, so year 12 we had essentially 2 streams. So we had visual arts art or visual arts design. And I thought because I couldn't draw for shit that I was like, no, I'm going to go into design because that involves less drawing. Little did I know that I would end up doing illustration stuff for my graphics, like for my finals anyway. But I think comics kind of got me into graphic design as well. The layouts of those and the layouts of magazines. I was always, like, I'm always a hoarder. I'm still a hoarder. Collecting a lot of magazines over the years as well. And a lot of books. And seeing the designs on that kind of sparked me as well, I guess.
Okay.
Yeah. That's it was a very like, oh, I'm gonna do this. Because it was either that or journalism.
Okay.
Yes, so when I was younger, I always wanted to be an author, but then my mum was like, lol, no, authors don't make money.
Oh, that Asianness comes out.
That Asian mother advice, wisely sage advice. So I was like, next best thing is journalism, because I can still write, but
more money, I guess.
Journalism has jobs? Like, that's a proper job, right? Because I always loved to read as a kid. Hence the books thing, so it's appropriate.
Okay.
But yeah, so it was either that, and then I was like, oh, they have like a Bachelor of Media, and I can major in journalism or graphic design, and then I was like, why not just do a Bachelor of Graphic Design and just do the whole whammy instead of doing it half-heartedly as a major, and then doing media. But yeah.
Okay.
That's essentially it.
Yeah. And how did your mum take that? Like, your decision to do graphic design at uni?
So, I think... So, I'm from an Asian background, to clarify that first. So, I think my mum always knew that I would never be taking the traditional route of some STEM subject or like some career in STEM.
Yeah.
That was always left to my sister.
Okay.
Like I think she always knew that I would end up doing something creative. Like, I'm stubborn enough that I'm just like, there's no way in hell I'm gonna be pursuing optometry or dentistry, no matter how many times you're like, oh, but this is such a great course, and like, oh, someone's friend is doing this. I'm like, no, it's never gonna be. I don't think it was ever an option for me. I didn't have enough interest or fulfillment in those subjects.
Okay.
So, yeah, she took it pretty well. Like, I told her straight up, and she was like, okay, like, I'll support you. Like, I would want to, like, ideally, I'd like you to do this, but I can't force you to do anything. I think by the time I was in year 12 and chose this career path, which I still don't know about today, that's another story.
That we might get into.
But yeah, no, I don't think she ever had any, like, real expectations for me to go into like some STEM subject, as much as she would like me to.
Yeah.
Like, it was for me, it was always going to be something creative. Yeah.
Okay. Cool. And I guess from there, I want to know, like, what drives you? What is your motivation to get up day to day and do shit?
Honestly, this is going to be the cheesiest answer, but like, family and friends. I have Asian family's always going to be big. But they do motivate me to, like, seeing my cousins and stuff grow and go out and do their own thing.
Yeah.
Like, regardless of expectations from the family, I'm just like, that's something that I want to do. And seeing my friends as well, like, achieve and do things that are, like, I can't even comprehend. It's, like, amazing. So it's like seeing them want to do better and actually push themselves to do stuff makes me want to do better as well. And like, I mean, I guess I want them to have the same pride, like my family and friends to have the same pride for me as I do for them, I guess. Yeah.
Oh. See, it's not cheesy.
It's an awesome answer.
It's not cheesy.
It's cheesy to me.
Fair enough. I can't spoil anything, but at the end of this miniseries, I will do a little bit of reflecting on what everyone has said about this question.
Josh is gonna analyze all of us. He's like writing down notes. Can feel it.
You know, mental notes.
Okay.
But yeah, everyone's answers so far have been very interesting. And I won't spoil it for you listeners. You're just gonna have to listen to this entire miniseries.
Oh, I forgot to mention good TV shows. Good TV shows also motivate me to get up in the morning.
Ooh, speaking of, if someone wanted to get to know you, like personality-wise, or just you in general, are there 5, I guess, films, TV shows, video games that best describe you?
Oh, jeez. Okay, so this is a hard question because I am a fan of many of those things. So, obviously, first one that came to mind would be Scott Pilgrim versus the World. 2010 movie directed by Edgar Wright, starring a bunch of famous faces that you might see in current media today. Cult classic. I love it so much. It's based off of a graphic novel series by Brian Lee O'Malley that was released. I don't even know when, but it's basically Scott Pilgrim vs. the World. Scott wants to date this girl called Ramona Flowers, and to do so, he has to defeat her 7 evil exes. The movie, it's like the comics themselves are crazy, but I think the movie, I don't know, it sparked something in me when it came out. It was in 2010. I remember going to the cinemas with 2 girls in high school that were like, we all came out of the cinema and they were like, what did we just watch? And I was like, that was phenomenal. It's very comic book-esque. Like, if you had to describe comic book style in a movie, it would be Scott Pilgrim for me. It's just such like an eclectic bunch of characters, and I love the acting. Everyone's so great in it. It doesn't take itself too seriously, and the music is great. Like, the soundtrack is just ingrained in my head forever, I think. If I ever heard any of the songs, I'd be like, oh my god. Yeah, so that's one of the main ones. Another one would be the Avengers.
Oh my.
and another comic book movie. 2012. I remember distinctly going to see this with my 2 best friends at the time as well. And that was the first time I think I was like, oh, this is goosebumps. This is like, I remember feeling it like I was in awe of all of these things coming together. I think this was like the first inkling of like mashups and like the MCU essentially. And that just, I don't know, that did something for me where I was like, oh my god, this is insanely cool. I want to learn more about these characters. I want to like, I know we had all the films before, but like, I think it didn't really hit me until then. So the Avengers, because I love comics. And that really sparked, I think, the comic collecting and everything else for me. And that's how everything started. Like, me going to cons and discovering that.
Okay.
Like, yeah, just, I think the year after I went to my first Supernova with, because the thing with my nerddom is that no one really introduced me to it. I didn't have any family that were into this kind of stuff. Like, I'd grown up watching anime and shit like that, but no one in my family was really obsessed with anything nerdy.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I guess, nothing really in pop culture that they were really obsessive with. So when I found this kind of world on my own, I was like, oh, this is fucking great.
Mm-hmm.
But, like, who do I talk to about it?
Yeah.
So yeah, and then that sparked a whole nother thing. Oh my god, I just realized I don't have another movie on here. Oh my god. Okay. Anyways, I'm missing a movie. Can I add one more?
Yeah.
Is that okay? I'll add it at the end.
Okay.
Because that was also a big part of my life.
Okay.
Third movie, Crazy Rich Asians. Can I just say,
God.
holy shit. What the fuck is that movie? It encapsulates everything so well. It's just gorgeous. Like, if you haven't seen it, fucking go see it because it's phenomenal. I bawled like a bitch baby.
Oh boy.
At the wedding scene, you'll understand what I mean if you've seen it.
Mm-hmm.
And then like after that, I was just the floodgates opened and I couldn't stop crying.
Oh my.
My friends next to me were really confused because I was just crying consistently and they didn't understand. I went with my white friends.
Oh yeah, okay.
From high school. So it wasn't the same impact, I think, for them as it was for me.
Yeah.
Personally. But Crazy Rich Asians, although it is a very, very recent film.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think it's just seeing something so familiar in like a thing so mainstream, which is, I think, what every other Asian will say about Crazy Rich Asians, but just seeing that representation for me made me want to cry a little bit. Yeah.
Okay.
The whole identity thing is another thing we'll go into later on. But yeah, the whole movie is done so beautifully and they've got a lot of cultural references, I think, personally for me anyways, bang on. And, like, it helps that the cast is all, like, fucking stunning. And all, like, the outfits are stunning and everything. But yeah, no, Crazy Rich Asians really does it for me, I think. And encapsulates, I think, the essence of Asian culture. Or like just a teeny little bit of it, because there's so much more that you can explore, but like just giving people like a tiny taste of a culture that they probably wouldn't have experience with, if that makes sense. Yes. Yeah. So I was like really excited for that.
Okay.
When that got announced. Okay. Number 4 is a video game. It's kind of stupid, but it's not stupid, but it's Tetris.
Okay.
Tetris, I think, captures my childhood a lot. Because as kids, so when we were younger, each of my cousins would have their own Nintendo DS. And we would play a lot of, like, connected games together. So we'd play a lot of Mario Kart, a lot of, what else do we play? Elite Beat Agents was another one. It was like a rhythm sound tapping game. And we played Tetris as well, because you only needed one DS card for this, and then everyone else could play. So we'd have 8 people going at once.
Oh, wow.
Playing in this one room in the middle of summer, Christmas holidays, playing Tetris. And I don't know, every time I play that game, it gives me some kind of form of nostalgia, and I think it's like a muscle memory thing.
Okay.
When I go back to it, because it's like, I know how to set out the blocks so that it like falls perfectly. Like I'm never gonna be as good as my cousins. They've been playing it for years before me, but like I think, like personally for me, that's a childhood game, and captures my childhood very well. And I know it did for a lot of people as well, but yeah. Okay. Fifth one that, I've got one more extra after this because that's, yep. Avatar, the, legend, but not The Last Airbender. It's gonna be Legend of Korra. Can I umbrella term it?
Sure.
So both of the series, Avatar, for me, I think, I don't know, there's just something about Avatar and growing with the characters. I mean, like, even now it holds up to, like, the character development standards, and, like, it's done so well. It's just done so well. And when they introduced Legend of Korra, when they said they were going to release it, I was so happy. And I think, like, most people will give Legend of Korra a lot of flack, but I don't know if this is nostalgia talking, but I reckon I really, really liked it. The character development in that series as well is done insanely well. And I remember, like, the morning cartoons, not seeing it in sequence. Yes. Yeah. But I remember we would get the the shitty rip-off CDs, DVDs.
Oh my god.
That you would bring back from Vietnam, and they'd come in, like, the really slim DVD cases. And they would be dubbed over in Viet really badly. And I think we didn't figure that out until we brought them back to Australia. And we weren't able to change the dubs to English. Oh no. And it was an experience. But yeah, no, I had a lot of fun memories of Avatar, and rewatching that and then watching Legend of Korra can relate very much. Well, not not personality wise to Korra, but I think the pressure that she goes through as the Avatar, even though I'm not the Avatar.
Do you wish you were the Avatar?
Oh no, hell no, screw that. I mean, that'd be fucking great, but, like, nah. Like, having the whole world rely on you is like, no thank you. I'd be a waterbender though. I'd definitely be a waterbender for real.
Oh yeah? Any specific waterbender?
I don't know, like, I feel like bloodbending would be really cool, but, like, that'd be really fucked, and I think people would be scared of me for that, so I'd be like, nah, just give me that healing shit, man. Yeah. So Avatar. And one last one is Harry Potter as well.
Oh, of course.
Because, yeah, I'm a fucking nerd. Harry Potter has, honestly, I think, helped me bond with so many people. If it weren't for Harry Potter, I wouldn't be friends with some of the friends that I am friends with now. Oh my god. Yeah, because I think it was around 2000 and somewhere around 2012, 2013. This was like peak Tumblr time. I joined a group.
Let's date this now. Rest in peace, Tumblr.
Yeah, oh my god. Yeah, so we're dating this. There's a lot of shit going on with Tumblr right now. Let's just say it's a shit show. You know, goodbye, Tumblr.
Adult content, Nazism. Which one is safer?
Wheel!
Look, some adult content.
Some adult content. But yeah, so Tumblr got me, so there was a thing so people made networks on Tumblr, essentially like a group of friends with a common, I guess, theme is what I'd call it.
Yep.
I don't know. So I joined the Potterhead network.
Oh, of course, of course.
And we were a group of, some of us still are. We were a group of young ladies. And a lot of us were from all over the world. Some of us were in Australia. And we formed a very strong bond and like friendships that are super lovely. And yeah, I think that was my first real instance of a online community, I guess, that I felt welcomed in, and I felt like I bonded with them.
Yeah.
And I'm still friends with a lot of them today. Like one of my very good friends is actually coming on exchange next year to Australia, which is very exciting.
Ooh.
Yeah, so we've been friends for like 5 years now, like online friends. So she's coming on exchange next year, which is really fun. Have met up with one of them. Okay. Oh my god, not even just one. But yeah, shout out to Cordelia and Kelly. Kelly's coming down next year from Canada, and Cordelia is from Sydney. We still all like Harry Potter very much. But yes, online communities.
Yes.
Fun times. Yeah.
I will say, having had a Tumblr for, Jesus, 8 years now. When did I join Tumblr?
Oh my god.
Yeah, 2011. So 2011. And I've lived through, Super Hulock.
We've seen shit.
I have seen shit. I have seen...
Oh my god, Super Hulock!
Super Hulock was a thing.
I forgot about that.
DashCon was a thing.
Oh my god.
Let's never remember DashCon.
No, I remember I started watching Doctor Who because of Super Hulock.
Oh my god, of course.
I was too scared to start watching Supernatural, but I was like, okay, Doctor Who, let's give this a go. Because I was like, oh, I already watched Sherlock, it's fine. Maybe... Yeah. Just maybe.
Maybe.
Oh god.
I guess what else kept me on? A lot of the K-pop fan stuff, like before Twitter was used as sort of the main thing. Before Twitter
became Stan Twitter.
Yeah.
It was Stan Tumblr.
It was Stan Tumblr. That was a time
before Standing was even a thing.
Yeah. Tumblr is like Stan Prime.
Yeah.
It is the origin of basically where the fandom comes from. And I've met up with people that I met through Tumblr community in real life. So it's been there for me. Like I sort of dropped off the face of Tumblr for maybe in like the last 3 years, and then this year I just was like, oh yeah, let's see what happens. And now we're getting now adult content is being ripped off Tumblr. So you know.
Oh god. Good luck. I just say good luck to them.
Yeah, good luck to Tumblr, because who goes to Tumblr now except for tits? And can I just say, the fact that they had to specify the gender of a nipple just made me laugh so hard.
Don't even get me started on that. That was a whole nother shit show itself. Female presenting nipples.
I'm like,
is the wording that was used.
And I was like, nope. I just oh my god.
Yeah, no, that made me giggle a little, not gonna lie.
and as I think I've mentioned it on GR8's group chat, like the salt from my feed alone is like, yes, of course. But there are a lot of like people that have been there for as long as I have and longer that are like, this will pass, but let's not expect it to get any better.
No, it really won't, honestly.
Oh dear.
It's a whole nother shit show.
Yeah. Now where were we?
We have gotten so off topic.
You know, this is fun about letting you guys sort of answer all these questions, because it leads into...
I was about to say, this is why you don't let me ramble on the regular pod.
For listeners who are, catching up with this mini-series, it's interesting to see what other people have said for their answers. And particularly, like, where we ended up and having to get back to the questions is just interesting.
Oh, yeah, like,
it's been a time.
Yeah, so I haven't heard any of the other recordings or anything. This is all... Oh...
And this is why you were so afraid before we started, because it did sound like a job interview.
Yeah, this is why I was scared, because I was like, Josh, why are you giving me a job interview, man? Like, I haven't heard anyone else's answers. I don't know how they responded. The nervous interview experience?
Oh boy. So there's not that many questions left, which is good.
Wait, what?
There aren't that many questions left.
Oh yeah, we're like halfway through.
Yeah, we're halfway through. Come on.
Oh, I'm sorry.
You're so fast. You mentioned, coming from an Asian background, living here in Australia.
Yes. I know, I was agreeing with you.
Oh boy. Yeah, growing up with, big Asian family and with all these sorts of cultural expectations being put on you, like, does the term Asian Australian mean anything to you?
So, I don't know, like, it's, like, I personally identify as Asian Australian. So, going way back, like, as a kid, I had no fucking inkling that I was Asian at all. Like, I did, but, like... When you're running around at kindy, you have no clue. Well, I didn't have any clue that I was different. I think it wasn't until, I entered midway through primary school. Like around year 5 or so, I transferred to a new school, which was, that I realized, like, there was a stark difference between me and my peers. It's not something that I talk about often, but I would get, I guess, I tried to make friends with these girls, and I would get pushed towards the Asian groups.
Okay.
So I would kind of get offhanded to them. I had always because my primary school that I went to, didn't have very many Asian, like, kids there.
Okay.
So I would just assume, and I would just hang out with, like, Australian kids and Italian kids and stuff like that. And I would assume that I would be one of them. And so when I came into this new school, I also assumed that I would also be hanging out with, like, white kids. And that, like, in my year level, there was when I came there was a succinct divide, I guess. And there still was, like, going through that school. But yeah, there was, like, a succinct divide, that I saw that I didn't really associate with. Where I was like, oh, I would gravitate more towards, like, white Australian, like, students rather than Asian students per se.
Okay.
But yeah, so when I got to this school, I would kind of be, like, the group that I would be hanging out with would kind of offhand me to them. And I would be like, I don't really relate as much as I do with you guys. And I didn't understand. I guess, like, looking back at it now, I understand. But back then I was just like, why don't you want to accept me into your group? Like, I don't get this. But yeah, no, I think going through that experience personally and then trying to grapple with my identity growing up now as a young person, in a culture where being Asian plus being female is becoming more obvious to me, I guess. And like my place in society is becoming a bit more stark. But yeah, I personally will always identify myself as Asian Australian, like even just straight up Australian. Like I was born and raised here. Like I said, I had no idea that I was different up until that point in primary school. But yeah, I think surrounding myself, especially in uni, with other like people, like Asian Australians who have had similar experiences to me, I guess.
Yeah.
Has kind of opened my eyes to that, like my cultural experience a lot more, and wanting to reclaim my culture as well. Like I feel like I've lost a lot of that growing up and wanting to push that away.
Okay.
But yeah, oh my god, we got real deep here.
We're going real deep, and we might get a little bit more deep, I guess, because I guess it's never, and we did talk about this very briefly before, and before we started recording officially, but I guess has that sort of that willingness or wanting to, you know, call yourself Asian or identify as Asian Australian, sorry, how does being queer sort of fit into that for you?
Like, I think, like, for me personally, it doesn't negatively affect me that much.
Okay.
In terms of, like, response and reaction when people find out, or, like, I tell people. I think that's because going through the motions in such a open and supportive environment, I guess. Like my friendship group in high school was very open and honest with each other, and the same with my uni group as well. Like they're all very LGBTQ plus friendly and welcoming, and I think it's partly due to that that I'm more accepting of myself than I think I would be if the situation, like if my external factors and external situation with my friendship group and support network would have been different.
Yeah.
So I think it doesn't really define me too much, or like
okay,
in terms of that, I guess. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
Interesting. And yeah, just for the listeners, because I guess a lot of stuff we never really explicitly state too often. And this sort of came out of the context, like, you know, Olivia identifies as bi, but it's never really been
established,
formally, canonically established.
Yeah.
So she's also canonically straight boy, BOIS. Yes. And I guess the podcast also sort of helped with that, because we, for those of you who follow like our socials, you'll know a majority of us are Asian, of Asian descent, and quite a number of us are LGBTQ. It's just been,
we're a mixed bag here.
We are a very nice, like, you know, mixed bag. I don't like using the analogy of trail mix, but what's a better?
Man, I don't want to be trail mix.
No,
That's
would you want to be
shit.
yumcha? Yumcha instead.
I want to be a chung fun.
There is a subtle
There we go,
Asian
let's
trait
do that.
meme somewhere.
Let's call ourselves that. We're a lazy Susan of yum cha dishes. is what I'd call us.
Okay, sure. We'll see what kind of weird promo we can come up for this.
Trail mix is so bloody bland, man.
It's so very
Yum Cha has all the
white.
flavour.
Yeah, that's true.
Nah, fuck the trail mix. We're a lazy Susan of Yum Cha dishes.
So yeah, I guess that's why I sort of asked that question, is because we never really talked about that.
I think like it's brought up every now and again, but like nothing ever too in depth in detail.
Yeah, fair enough. And I guess did your family sort of like, what was their reaction, like, to those of your family that you told?
They were super chill about it. It was just kind of like,
whatever.
Really? Yeah, okay, cool. I was like, oh, sweet, I'll take it. Yeah.
Yeah, fair enough.
So I'm very glad for their support as well. Yeah.
Oh, sweet. Again, I'm not gonna spoil anything. For the listeners, you're just gonna have to wait until the end to hear all of these thoughts combined.
Oh God. The interview nerves are coming back again.
Oh boy. Don't worry.
Oh, I'm worrying a little bit, Josh.
Just a tiny bit.
Just a little. Just a little. Knowing you, just a little.
Why is that?
I don't know. I feel like this is gonna get deep again, man. Knowing you.
Oh boy. So I guess we'll do a little bit of as if we haven't gone any deeper, but we'll take a little moment to sort of, I guess, reflect. So, if there's something you would want to say to your younger self, and younger self doesn't have to be, if you were 5, 10, 15 years old, it could be you last year at the start of uni, and I guess this sort of also extends to if someone is listening to this podcast episode who's in sort of a similar situation to you back then, what would you say to yourself?
Like, it's gonna be okay. Like, shit's gonna get real fucked, but it's gonna be okay.
Mm-hmm.
I was a very anxious, person growing up. Like, I still am. I think that's just my nature. But, life experiences have taught me that more and more people don't give a shit. So, yeah, I would tell myself it's gonna be okay. You're gonna fuck up every now and again. Just try harder. It's gonna turn out in the end. I think, that's what I've learned, especially from these past 3 years at uni.
Yeah.
Is that, you can always talk to someone about this shit. There's not always gonna be second chances, but you're gonna get through stuff. It's gonna be shit, but you're gonna get through it. And it's not the end of the world if you get a bad grade or something.
Yeah.
It'll fucking seem like it, because that's your whole world right now. But yeah. There's always redemption arcs.
Yeah.
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 Yeah, that's basically it.
Okay.
Yeah.
And from there, I guess we'll flip it to looking to 2019. And as we are recording before 2019, this is going to be a little time capsule thing, I guess. It's going to live on, and we'll see how, we go with this. So, Olivia, do you have any sort of goals, big or small, for next year?
I would like to learn to let go of things.
Okay.
I think I'm very much like my parents and like my grandparents when I say I'm a hoarder. But also, like, just letting go of stuff, like mental stuff that's weighing me down as well. Rather, like, also physical stuff, because I have a lot of shit in my room that I don't need. But yeah, just mental stuff, I think, that's been weighing me down over the last 3 years, and now I've had a chance to take a breather, that I've had the chance to also reflect on mental and like stuff like that, where I need to take a breath and I'm like, no, I need to let this go and I need to get rid of it if I want to move on with my life and keep going along the path that I want to be going down. I can't have like shit like that weigh me down and be on my conscience.
Yeah.
I guess because I hold a lot of, like, I can hold a fucking grudge. I'm also a very emotional person. So I take a lot of things to heart when stuff happens. But yeah, I think I just need to, teach myself to let go, I guess.
Okay.
Yeah. Oh, and to be more independent, because that's also a thing. I want to travel. Traveling's a fun time.
Ooh, where? Have you thought of anywhere?
Oh god. I'm gonna be a basic bitch because everyone's going there. Tokyo.
Of course.
Japan.
Yes.
I also want to go to Canada. Because Canada. Also the friend that I mentioned, Kelly, is also there. And she said she'd take me on what she's calling the Scott Pilgrim tour of where all the places in the Scott Pilgrim movie were. And to New Zealand as well.
Ooh.
Where my current boyfriend is. Yeah.
Shout out to everyone's favorite tax return, Seamus Mullins.
Yeah.
Oh boy. So I guess now here come the curveball questions.
Oh god. I'm not prepared.
Yeah, you are not going to be prepared for these, I guess.
Oh Jesus. What have you, okay. Okay,
You ready?
I'm ready. Yeah, no, I mean, no, but yes. I mean, I'll take it. I'll take whatever you throw at me.
So why did you say yes to doing Great Mates?
Oh shit. I don't even remember. That was so long ago.
We've been doing this for 18 months. Yeah, it's been a while.
It's been a while. And like doing it weekly as well, it's like, I guess, like, at that point in time, we had been chatting on We Stayed Late, Slack. And I don't know, I feel like I felt connected.
Okay.
Like, this is gonna sound real dumb, but I felt connected to you guys. And I don't know, I guess I was like trusting enough in myself then where I was like, okay, these guys are cool. Let's do a podcast. I've never fucking done this before. Why not? And I guess when did we start this?
So we started I think
Jesus.
so the first time I brought up the idea was probably in May, and then we recorded the first episode I think a month after.
Jeez, yeah, it had only been a month. I mean, that's the thing, we'd gotten to know each other over the course of God knows how long, like, on the Slack. And so I was like, okay, these guys seem chill. Let's do this. And I think it was just because I was looking for something else to do alongside uni.
Okay.
because at this point I was midway through my second year of uni, midway through my course, and I was just like, yeah. Like, I needed something else.
Okay.
To keep me occupied as well.
Uh-huh.
But I was like, yeah, podcast. That sounds cool. People are doing podcasts these days. Also, I think it was a cool. I think it was partly me wanting to get to know you guys better as well.
Ah, okay.
Like wanting to form more connections. I think especially with Aussie people.
And
well.
yeah, I guess for additional context, yeah, there were and I believe we still are, like, there's a tiny ass group of Aussies on that online community. So, yeah, and 18 months down the track, here we are.
Here we are. None of us are dead yet. It's okay.
We're still going.
We're still going.
People obviously, like, sometimes even I can't believe we did, like, a whole 18 months of almost weekly recording.
Yeah, like, that's pretty insane when you think about it.
If you think about where we are, and the God knows, like, the logistics of doing something like this.
Oh yeah, when we started, we were like, so how are we gonna do this?
Yeah, so we're gonna do...
Because I always thought podcasts were, like, recorded... Like, we stayed late. They always record in the same room. And then I was like, are we gonna have to see each other's faces? Like, how do we do this? Like, I can't look nice all the time. And now it's just like...
Who cares?
Who cares? We don't... Well, on the odd occasion we see each other's faces.
Yes.
I still don't care.
Like, even in real life now, we don't...
Yeah, even in real life,
really
it's
don't,
fine.
like, mind. But yeah, I guess also in the beginning, we were like, oh, are we gonna do this fortnightly? And then someone had the bright idea of, no, let's not do fortnightly, let's do weekly.
Oh god, whose idea was that?
I have no idea. I cannot remember for the life of me which one of us decided that weekly was gonna be more effective. God. But anyway, like, look where it got us as a podcast.
Yeah, we're here now.
We're vastly different people. We've grown.
Oh my god, I can say I am definitely a completely different person to who I was when I first started this podcast.
And what would you say has changed for you?
I guess experience.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, there was a lot of stuff going on. Well, not a lot of stuff, but I think it's just like uni life and experiencing that, and then people growing up in my family and all that, and then work and finding new jobs and all that jazz.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
So,
growth.
Yes, gotta love that. Gotta love that growth. And before we wrap up, just one last curveball.
Oh god.
Is there anything that you have sort of come to realize, like, as we've been recording, like, has anything stuck out at you about yourself? Or made you realize something?
I think that I have become more self-aware than I've realized.
Okay.
I think openly saying all this shit out loud has made me realize that, like, oh, it's self-analysis. Oh, yes. But yeah, no, I think, yeah, there's that. I don't know what else.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know, this is what happens when you throw curveballs at me, man. I don't have time to prepare shit to talk about.
I mean, that's the joy of curveballs. You think on the fly as much as you can. God. But yeah, this is gonna be it. So for the people who are listening, Olivia, where can people find you if they want to find you?
I am 8-Bit Olive on Twitter, and you can find my design Instagram at ohhello.design.
Ooh.
Who knows how long I'll keep that up for.
We live in hope.
Yeah.
And if you want to come find me, basically everywhere, you can find me at Abangpinoy, ABANGPINOY. For the other Great Mate socials, go and listen to the rest of this mini-series, or go and listen to any other episode that you can find of the podcast, where you can listen to us on iTunes, Spotify, Google Play Music, TuneIn, basically everywhere you can sub to a podcast, we're there. If you are on iTunes, feel free to leave us a 5-star rating and review, because we love validation. Also feedback, because we want to make this podcast, better for season 3. Who knows what is going to happen in season 3? Literally. What else is there I need to say? If you want to come find us on Instagram and Twitter, you can find us at Great Mates Podcast, and submit questions or things you want to, topics you want to leave us, slide into our DMs and do all that fun stuff. I think that's it. So thank you, Olivia, for doing the best that you could under these circumstances.
Thank you very much, Josh, for throwing me many curveballs.
And you'll hear back from me very soon.
We'll always hear back from you.
Yeah.
Josh is the ever-looming presence in the podcast. Even when he's not there, he's there.
Yes, that is scarily true.
Yeah.
God. Anyways, thank you for listening, and we'll catch you on another episode in this mini-series in summer on our past episodes, or in season 3. Bye!
Bye!